Hey, what's up you guys, it's CaboosXBO bringing you another Batman Arkham Knight video, and today what we're going to be talking about is some new details for the Arkham Knight himself. Yes, in the latest Games TM magazine, which is going to be linked in the description, go buy it. It was a good read. There was some genuine new information for Arkham Knight. Like, there were some stuff that we've heard before and that we know about, but there was some new stuff, especially all these new details about the Arkham Knight's costume and the stuff that he wears. And then along with a interview with Sefton Hill, which reveals some very interesting stuff that you guys might want to read into. So the link is in the description. Go buy the Games TM magazine. It's issue 151, and it's on sale right now as of August 14th, that is. So if you're watching this at a later date, I don't know if it is, but either way, links in the description. Go buy the magazine. It's a great read, I promise you guys that. But right now, we're going to go list off and talk about the latest details for the Arkham Knight. They pretty much went in depth. The lead character artist, Albert Falou, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right, but Albert Falou, the lead character artist, basically went in depth over the Arkham Knight and his costume and the stuff that he's wearing, like his helmet and his gauntlets and the bat ears that he has. And it's very interesting stuff that they reveal within these little details and, stuff given to us about Arkham Knight's costume. So without further ado, let's get right into it, starting with the mask. The mask is a vital component of many supervillains, and we needed the Arkham Knight's helmet to achieve a range of different things. Firstly, it needs to cover his face in order to conceal any sense of the man underneath. Next, it provides him with a detailed heads-up display that keeps track of his forces moving throughout Gotham City. This information is projected across the inside of his visor, creating the illusion of those inhuman eyes and giving him a face that is equal parts ghostly and robotic. This is very interesting because obviously he mentions that the point of the mask that Arkham Knight wears is to conceal who he is underneath the mask. So I don't know, the way that they're doing this, it has to be somebody we know already. I don't know who else it could be but somebody that we know of already, because if it's a new character, what's the reveal? I don't know. This is so interesting. But he also mentions that the little heads-up display that we've been seeing in some of the photos for the Arkham Knight doesn't prove that he is a robot. It makes it seem like he is a robot, as they say that the mask gives off the vibe that he is both parts ghostly and robotic. But obviously they're making it clear that he is not a robot. So we can debunk that theory officially. A lot of people were really wondering, like, is he a robot? Why is there these little things on his helmet? But no, that is all a part of it, and it basically gives him a heads-up display and information about what his forces in Gotham City are doing or where they're moving. So, like, his army, basically. And yeah, that is very interesting, the way they're super cryptic about what his mask is for. Moving on to the chest plate, the Arkham Knight knows the deep influence that the events of both Arkham Asylum and Arkham City had on Batman, and by making the logo of the institution on his own, he aims to put Gotham's savior at a disadvantage. The angular design of the armor plating was influenced by the A shape of Batman Arkham Asylum's logo, but it's also designed to deflect the Batclaw. This is very, very interesting stuff here, guys. Because what this kind of reveals is that the Arkham Knight, one way or another, knew exactly what had happened to Batman during the events of both Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. So was this a character that was around during both those games, that witnessed what happened to Batman during both those games, that was near Batman during both those games? Who knows? But that is extremely interesting information. And also, as it mentions, the Arkham A on his chest is used to deflect the Batclaw. This can kind of give us insight as to what we can expect during a possible encounter with him or even a boss battle, because obviously we're not going to be able to use the Batclaw against him, because usually when you use the Batclaw against a thug, he'll connect to the thug's chest, pull him towards him, and then Batman, if you were to hit square on the PlayStation or X on the Xbox, he would, jump forward, punch them in the chest, and then knock them on the ground while they're in midair. but it seems you really can't do that when you're facing off against the Arkham Knight, as the A on his chest is used to deflect that gadget. And that is, again, extremely interesting. But the first part of this little information as to what the whole origin of the Arkham A on Arkham Knight's chest is extremely, extremely interesting, and something that we should not look over, because it clearly means that this character was around. He just knew one way or another. He knew what happened to Batman during Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Could it be Azrael? I don't know, but that would be like my only logical guess right now. So anyways, moving on to the gauntlets, they say the materials are influenced by the design of fighter aircraft. Highly resistant, unreflective, and totally intimidating. The Arkham Knight's knowledge of the Caped Crusader influences his fighting style, and so his gauntlets fulfill a similar role to Batman's. They're armored, so he can use them to repel opponents with blades while remaining light enough to enable rapid strikes. Now that's just pretty cool. It's just explaining the Arkham Knight's gauntlets, the little parts on his forearms, and yeah, that's just cool. Then they talk about the camouflage. In creating the image of this military leader invading an urban space, we designed the Arkham Knight's red camouflage pattern to make him identifiable to his troops, but also to take advantage of how Gotham City looks at night. The dark grays interspersed with dashes of red enables him to remain concealed in Gotham's alleyways and on its rooftops. The dark material that armors his biceps and triceps is particularly reflective, working as part of the camouflage. That is pretty freaking cool, the way they've worked that in. It's not just, random red marking all over his costume to make him look badass, even though it does anyways. It's kind of used as a camouflage to hide himself when he's on the Gotham City rooftops or alleyways. And again, that could play a huge factor throughout the game. Like, he could be following Batman without us even knowing throughout the game. So again, extremely interesting stuff. Next up, we got the utility belt. The Arkham Knight is a military commander. He's also a highly capable and resourceful warrior, just like Batman. His utility belt is designed for more personal confrontations, and it reflects his aggressive personality. He wears it low-slung in contrast with Batman's more regimented approach to field equipment. He thinks he's better, badder, and definitely cooler than the Batman himself. Now see, that kind of information gives off like this vibe that the Arkham Knight is like young, he's like a young guy who, with all this training that he has this confidence and this, this enthusiastic, personality where he just knows, like, he's like, yeah, I can beat the shit out of Batman if I wanted to on any given day. And obviously this utility belt kind of reflects that in a way. They continue to talk about the Arkham Knight here. They say the Arkham Knight is one of the centerpiece villains. He's like a dark reflection of Batman and commands a military force that's taken control of Gotham City. He seems to know everything about the Batman, his tactics, gadgets, and weaknesses. He has used this knowledge to create an identity that mocks the Dark Knight and creates a striking image on the battlefield that inspires his army and terrifies his enemies. Really cool stuff right there. We kind of knew that in the first place, but they go a little more in depth about it, and the Arkham Knight himself. And the last bit of information here is the ears, the little bat ears that the Arkham Knight has, which is so freaking cool. And they talk about it here. They go, the ears serve two purposes. First, they act as transmitters relaying the Arkham Knight's commands to his troops and drones in the field. Secondly, they are his greatest psychological attack on Batman. While they're much shorter and more streamlined than the Dark Knight's to make them more practical for combat, this design is an intentional mockery of Batman and everything that he stands for. Wow. That's just, there's so much depth to this character, and we don't even know who he is. That is pure Rocksteady right there. And like, great job with this article. Was incredible. I was so happy, just the biggest smile, grin from ear to ear, reading every little bit of information that we got about the Arkham Knight. Please go buy this. It's in the description. You guys are missing out if you don't. This is an incredible magazine. This is an incredible article, all in the Arkham Knight, and you get some new screenshots of the Arkham Knight within it. You get a nice, beautiful shot of the Arkham Knight, like of his backside, and it just looks really, really badass. He looks so freaking cool. With that said, let me know what you think about these new details for the Arkham Knight in the comments section below. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description. I'm CaboosXBL. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later.